Teenage girl ordered to leave prom for this unfair reason. Prom is a special event for high school students. They get to dress up, be with their friends, and dance the night away without cares or worries. Prom is usually one of the last nights students spend together before preparing for their future. Claire Ettinger was one of these students looking to spend one last night with friends at the dance. However, it ended up not being the night she always dreamed of. Although she found the perfect dress and had a group of friends to go with, chaperones used their power against the teenager, claiming she violated the dress code. Claire was determined to prove them wrong. Claire Ettinger was a 17-year-old homeschooled student from Richmond, Virginia at the time of the dance. She and her longtime boyfriend, James Thompson, were looking forward to spending prom together, as many teenage couples dream about their prom night. Claire and James had been dating for a while through high school. However, as their 4-year academic adventure was coming to a close, they feared the future of their relationship. Would they be going separate ways? Prom night was their night to leave all worries behind. Claire and her friends, including her boyfriend, had been planning on a night of glamour and fun. They were going to dress up, get together, and have one of the last nights together before parting ways for college in the future. Claire and her friends, though, did not get the night they were expecting. Most proms come with a theme. Claire's was no different. Her prom advertised a French-inspired theme to generate some buzz about the event. It was Twilight in Paris, encouraging people to dress inspired by the City of Love. After finding out the theme, Claire envisioned the perfect dress for the perfect night. She knew exactly what she wanted and was determined to find it. Shopping at 5 different stores, she had no luck and wanted to give up. It was this time when she stumbled upon it. When it comes to prom, teens often worry about what they're going to wear. Claire, fortunately, found her perfect dress at Macy's outlet store. After purchasing her dress, she could take a sigh of relief. While shopping for her dress, Claire was very aware of the dress code she had to follow. Dresses could not be shorter than fingertip length. Fortunately, Claire's dream dress was longer than her arms. It passed the test. When she was searching for her dress, Claire surely kept in mind the dress code. By not following it, she would not be allowed in. With so much preparation and excitement for the dance, why wouldn't she follow the dress code? All the information about the dress code was clearly printed on the dance's invitation. Claire was aware of these rules and took them into account. You can see the fine print for yourself. Being one of the most memorable nights for a teenager, Claire started to get ready. She was so excited about her look that she was already posting photos on social media before the dance even started. As a homeschooled student, Claire did not have many chances to interact with other students in a large gathering. Therefore, her prom was very special to her. She splurged on her appearance for the memorable night, getting her hair styled and buying new makeup. Claire did her makeup, put her dress on, and fastened her high-heel shoes. Feeling glamorous, she posted photos of herself, receiving positive comments from her friends, telling her she was channeling Marilyn Monroe. When she was out shopping, Claire made sure that her dress passed the fingertip test. After getting ready and putting on her high heels, she realized that the dress may shift, with a new position on her body because of the heels. Claire may have to ditch her dream dress. Fortunately for Claire, she did another fingertip test and the dress passed even in heels. She was good to go to the dance. She even took a picture beforehand to prove that she could get in. Claire followed all the rules for the night. Her dress met the requirements to get in, even in high heels. She and her friends were all ready for a great night. Little did they know that their plans were about to be shattered. To keep the youth event safe, there were several volunteers chaperoning, including adults that guarded the doors. These ranged from parents to community members. Ann Duncan was one of these volunteers, and she would have a major impact on Claire's night. Excited to start the night, Claire and her friends walked up to the building. However, Claire got stopped by Ann Duncan because she thought Claire's dress was too short. Claire did the fingertip test and showed her the picture she took from before. After redoing the fingertip test, Ann Duncan saw that there was some space between Claire's fingers and the end of her dress, though short. As a result, Claire was able to get in, but Ann did not let Claire see the last of this. Although she passed the dress code test, Ann still told Claire that her dress was still too short. She allowed her to go inside, but she said she needed to be careful with how she moved while sitting, standing, and dancing. Ann also said that she would be watching Claire the whole night. As soon as she walked in, Claire noticed that other girls had shorter dresses than her. Claire was tall for her age, so dresses that looked long on shorter girls appeared short on her. Not only was Claire uncomfortable that Anne would be watching her, but she was upset now about her hypocritical nature. After getting in, Claire also noticed the number of chaperones in the venue. There were so many. At some point, it seemed that there were 4 students to every chaperone. In context, it seemed like there were too many chaperones for comfort. To make matters worse, there were many male chaperones that made Claire feel uncomfortable. They would stand on the balconies from above and watch the students. However, she and her boyfriend James were not going to let the creepy chaperones ruin their night. Trying to let their worries go, Claire and James started to dance together. Anne, though, would make a reappearance and claim that Claire was dancing inappropriately and that her dress was starting to ride up. Both Claire and James spoke out on the uncomfortable situation Anne was causing. Claire decided that she wanted to stand her ground because she followed all the rules. James and their friends all stuck by Claire's side throughout the argument. It got to the point that Anne told Claire that she needed to leave. When Anne told Claire to leave, James immediately asked to speak to the event supervisor. This was not fair for Anne to take control of this situation unfairly. No supervisor was there, so another chaperone got involved instead. They, unfortunately, agreed with Anne and asked Claire to leave. Furious with this decision, Claire still refused to leave. She felt she had done nothing wrong and was being unfairly targeted. The standoff became more intense as Claire and Anne started shouting at each other. Both Claire and James had to leave for arguing back. Due to the nature of the argument, security had to get involved. Claire refused to back down and got dragged from her own prom. She was there for less than an hour. Looking back, Claire thinks she was targeted for being taller than the other girls and having a dress with more sparkle. After Claire was removed from the dance, James had to leave as well for speaking out. Claire's friends also left because of the unfairness. They all requested refunds, but only Claire received one. The people in charge felt that everyone else left by their own choice and did not deserve money back. After leaving the dance, Claire even asked the security guard if he felt that the situation was fair. The guard revealed that he was on Claire's side, but there was nothing he could do to help her. After the dance, Claire understood that she was probably not the first victim of this situation. However, she was determined to use her access to technology and social media to make her voice heard. She wanted more people to hear about her story. Claire posted her story on Reddit, which quickly spread to other social media platforms, including Facebook. People who read about the situation posted messages directly towards the dance coordinators in solidarity with Claire. Most of the public heard about Claire's side of the story first. She was unfairly kicked out of the dance because a chaperone felt uncomfortable with the length of her dress, although it met the dress code. Claire's post blew up on the internet and people wanted to learn more, so Amy Duncan shared her side of the story, saying that she allowed Claire in because the dress met the dress code. However, it was made of spandex, so the dress was made of a material that could easily ride up. According to Claire, she felt targeted for her dress and for her dancing. Amy Duncan stated that she never mentioned anything about Claire's dancing. It was solely about the dress. This did not change the fact that Claire felt targeted when other girls were dressed and acting the same as her. Claire stated that she felt targeted because of her body. She was dressed similar to other girls, but because of her more mature form and taller stature, the chaperones felt uncomfortable with her dress and dancing. Claire also felt she was targeted because she made the male chaperones uncomfortable. Since she looked more mature than the other girls, Claire felt uncomfortable with the unwanted male chaperones' gazes. Therefore, she had to be removed for their discomfort as well. Taking her story to social media, Claire received a lot of positivity, encouragement, and support from the general public. Despite the eagerness to support her, the dance organizers never released an apology to Claire, nor did they refund her friends' tickets. The school's failure to respond to Claire and her legion of supporters, who were mostly strangers, felt like they were trying to be as hurtful as possible. Despite this, Claire hopes that the future for dress code enforcement improves for young women. The Facebook page for the school that organized the dance has not been re-uploaded since Claire shared her experience. Claire likely had a major impact on this. Looking back, she says that she would have done everything the same way. By sharing her story, Claire hopes that all schools be more adherent to their own rules. She also hopes that young women not be targeted for their bodies. All in all, Claire's story shows the definite power of social media and sharing important stories.